just because we have a lot of stuff to talk about. First off, this is being live streamed, so I just want to acknowledge that and let everyone know. And we are currently recording, as you can see. So you can always refer back to this panel after today if there's any information that you feel like you missed. No matter where you're joining from, please use those chats both inside Zoom and on Facebook, and say how great everything is, ask any questions that you have, and we'll be sure to answer those at the very end with the Q&A. If you're here in the Zoom room with us, please rename yourself with your first name and your pronoun so that we can all get to know each other and create a supportive community with each other. So info on how to do that is going to be dropped in the chat right now. And then I'd like to take a moment to do a land acknowledgement. The Hollywood Fringe Festival acknowledges that we are on the unceded lands of the Tongva, Quiche, Gabrielinos, and Gabrielanos lands. A land acknowledgement is a formal statement that recognizes and honors the indigenous people of the lands that we presently reside and work on. Our statement serves as a practice as we commit to furthering our connection to the indigenous communities, past, present, and emerging. So then for more information, Fringe, we use resources for our own education that we're going to drop in the chat right now so you can continue to educate yourself on the indigenous people that live and have lived in this community before we have become onto this land. Important dates. Let's talk about some important dates to drill into your memory. So registration deadline for inclusion in the printed guide has passed, but it's not too late to still register for the festival. If you've already registered, you can also make sure that you get all of your text inside of your Fringe page, images, anything like that, nailed down by April 10th. And then those things will be printed in the guide. So make sure that you register your projects if you haven't already. And if you've already registered, make sure that everything is the way that you want it to appear in the guide by April 10th, and everything will go smoothly. Our audience safety guidelines will be released on April 18th. So that's going to include everything from COVID to how to navigate Fringe and have the perfect experience while you're there. Our official Fringe previews are going to be happening on June 2nd through the 7th. So make sure to mark your calendars. And if you haven't already selected a venue, make sure that you try and get one of those previews because that's what's going to give the buzz about your show. Our opening night party is on June 8th at the LGBT Center. Now, this is the biggest event at Fringe of the year, so it's going to be really exciting. We expect lots of people to come out and just celebrate theater as we start to make our way back into that space. So we're really excited about this. And then our awards and closing ceremony, which will happen at the end of Fringe, is going to be on June 26th, also at the LGBT Center. So make sure that you mark that in your calendars as well. We have tons of upcoming events that you should mark your calendar. So if you're sitting here, pull up your phone, go into the calendar part of your phone and just mark these dates down or notes wherever you can put them down. Our last workshop is coming up in just over a week. It's one of my favorite. It's the Festival Expectations. So this is where you're going to learn all of the information about what is Fringe, how to Fringe, what's the best way to Fringe. And it's going to be led by our festival director, Lois. So you don't want to miss that one. We also have our town hall coming up next week, which is prepping for Fringe. We're going to drop these links inside the chat so that you can gaze at them and then make sure you get them accurately put into your calendar. For a full list of our events, make sure you click on those links so that you can see everything that's happening, because it's not just these things. We also have office hours. So office hours are back and they're in person. So make sure that you're coming every Wednesday from March 30th, which was last week, to June 1st. They're going to be from 7 o'clock to 10 p.m. at a different venue every single week. So make sure you check on those venues, check your emails, and show up to the right bar and communicate and network with the other people at Fringe and support each other and talk about your shows. It's a really fun time. So show up to those guys. Each of these bars will have a special discount for all of the Fringes that night. So it's kind of like a fun way to go out, have a good time. You can have a glass of wine, you can have a cocktail drink, or you can just drink soda water or, you know, a little bit of seltzer. That's cool too. Cool. We also have some events coming up that are accessible for people who don't want to or are not ready to come into person. And those are going to be a couple of Thursdays through April. They are speed networking events from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, April 7th, 28th, and 19th. So make sure you show up to those because they're going to be really fun ways to just on Zoom, one person to another person, talk about your shows, get to know each other, and start to build those friendships that sort of make the entire festival, it makes their heartbeat. The festival the festival guide copy deadline, that is coming up really soon. So I really want to emphasize that before April 10th, you go ahead and make sure that everything on your Fringe page is exactly as you want it to show up in the festival guide, because after that, there's not going to be a way to go back and change it. So really make sure you go and do that even just this weekend. Our opening night party is happening on June 8th. So make sure you mention that in your calendar so you can come out and celebrate theater as we come back to stuff. Now, this is the most exciting announcement that we have, I think, this year is Fringe Central is back along with the Fringe Concierge. This is the community center of the festival, and it's where you can find Brian's Bar, the Fringe Concierge. It's where the festival staff, myself, and all of the awesome people that I had the pleasure to work with. There's going to be guides, merchandise. There'll be impromptu events happening and so much more. So make sure you check out the Fringe Central. We'll drop a link in the chat in just a moment. This year, it's going to be open from Friday through Sunday throughout the entire festival. So anytime through June that you're out in Hollywood and about in the Fringe Central, just stop by, say hi. I'll be there. Others will be there. This is where you can also make important friendships and interact with the community in an outdoor social hub located at 905 Cole Avenue. So just 2 blocks south of the Theater Row. Fringe Central hours are 5 o'clock to 12 a.m., Saturday through Sunday, 2 p.m. to 12 a.m. Fringe Concierge will be closed June 26th for the party, so just make sure that you know that. A couple of things to note about today's panel. If you have any accessibility needs that aren't being met, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. We'll go ahead and make sure that those accommodations can be met. That's me, Lois, and Ellen. Or you can always email support@hollywoodfringe.org 72 hours in advance of any event that you plan to go to, and we'll schedule an interpreter or any other accessibilities that you may need. We strive at Hollywood Fringe to make sure that we provide a safe space for anyone who wants to participate so that you can make the most honest and cutting edge work that the city has to offer to make sure that we can provide that safe space. We have a code of conduct. So we're going to drop that code of conduct in the link here, or in the chat, here in just a moment. So make sure you read through that because it's really important. It's a wonderful community and environment that we've created, and we want to protect that. And so make sure that you just take a look at it. If you're in need of any technical Zoom support during any event, feel free to DM the Fringe staffers once again. We'll be providing all live questions today until the end. So feel free to throw some in the chats, both here on Zoom and in Facebook. And then at the very end, we'll go ahead and we'll pick those through and we'll address them. Let's talk a little bit about COVID next. We've recently loosened some of the guidelines for our performers. They're simple. To perform at Fringe, you either have to have proof of vaccination or you have to have a negative COVID test result between 48 and 72 hours, depending on the antigen versus a PCR test. So the antigen tests are the quick tests. The PCR tests are the shorter tests. So prior to the show, just make sure that you get those things and have them present for your venue. Some venues may have stricter rules over the course of the entire festival as regards to COVID. So please have conversations with the venues that you're planning to perform at, to visit, and always abide by the regulations that they have in them for their business. We'll release an audience guideline on April 18th that will go into more details about the Fringe policies in regards to COVID. So please make sure you keep your emails, your eyes on your emails for that. The full participation guidelines are going to go into the chat right now as they are. So take a look at those. We also have sent out a COVID survey. So this is our way of gauging where everybody is at in our festival and what people are feeling most concerned about and what they feel like they need in order to have a great festival. So please, if you can, find the time to give us your thoughts. We would be so thankful. We're going to go ahead and drop that in the chat right now as well. So finally, start as you go into the festival, start to engage with our Hollywood Fringe Festival marketing. So sign up for our Fringe emails, follow us on social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And then whenever you're posting, do @Hollywood Fringe, hashtag HFF22, so that you can be communicating and engaging with the festival. And then we can all be a giant online community. And it's where you're going to find out all of the events that are coming up, get those reminders, and keep us on track to have an awesome Fringe Festival this year. The participant packet was released last Friday, so make sure to take a look at that. It's been launched and it's going to have all of the important information that you need to have a fantastic experience and successful show. You can find that at hollywoodfringe.org/participants, and we'll go ahead and drop that in the chat as well. So I've talked for long enough. Let's chat with the people who are here today, who have the proven success at the festival and who are quite honestly just the tech gurus of the entire festival. So please introduce yourself. We have Pam and Corwin here tonight, and I cannot wait for y'all to hear their gems and insights. Corwin, Pam, welcome. Hello. I'll let you guys kind of run. I mean, this is your land of expertise, so go ahead and introduce yourselves and do what you do best.
Corwin goes first.
Thank you. I am Quintin Evans. I've been involved in the Fringe in some regard since the first Hollywood Fringe. I've been staff, I've been volunteer. I built the digital Fringe that we had last year, the online scape where you can go hang out and stuff. And I am a Caucasian male, approximately mid-30s, with blonde, surprisingly long and longer blonde hair, a beard, and glasses, speaking into a microphone to my screen right, and behind me is a sort of Celtic mandala, and I'm wearing a blue shirt. Hey, Pam.
Hey, Corwin. I'm Pam Knowles. I've been with Fringe since year one. I started as never had done a stage show before, wanted to know what that was like, did one, it was fun. And then other people said, do you know about stage management? Because, that was great, but that's where your skills are. And so I run mostly smaller venues, mostly for Studio C, but I've done it for others as well, all throughout the area. I am a Black woman with big round silver glasses, big round silver earrings, dreadlocks. I'm wearing a gray shirt. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm coming to you from my Zoom background of my TARDIS. Doctor Who 12's TARDIS, the only decent TARDIS since New Who started. Beautiful spaceship, and that's where I am. I am so happy to be here and so happy to help you all on your Fringe journey. Fringe, I have said before, and Ellen and Corwin have heard this before, Fringe messed up my life in the best way. When I wanted to nuke my corporate life and go for the life I really wanted, Fringe was there. And I am grateful. I'm poor, but I'm happy. I'm good, but I'm kind. Anyways, I'm there. So I'm going to, what do I do? Just mute myself, shut up, stop talking. Why don't I do that? Why don't I stop talking?
I'm also coming from Ute and Cheyenne territory in Colorado right now, because one thing we learned last year is distance geography doesn't need to hamper your involvement in Fringe. And keep that in the back of your mind, especially those of you who are engaging with, I've already seen live streaming pop up in the chat. But shall we take it away?
Right. I mean, last year I did several remote shows for Fringe, from Finally, and one I did from my house just because the way it happened. Dude, there is no reason with all this tech we have, there's no reason to deny yourself the creative and the outreach. We can do it all. We live in the future.
Now, I've done a lot of this live streaming stuff. I'm not going to cover a lot of that until we get to Q&A at the end of this. But if you do have any questions for how you can augment your live streaming experience, I spent 2020 and 2021 doing all manner of experiments and so forth in that regard. And there are a lot of other people pushing the envelope. There is still time to iron out the kinks in that technology and play with some things if you want to go down that route. But I'm going to go just straight over home plate, just throwing the basics so we can all have expectations managed and we know what is most useful for all of us going into the Fringe. Is there anything else, Kevin or Pam?
That's it. Y'all are the experts. I'm excited to go into your giant, awesome document, Corwin.
Yes, let's do that.
All right.
Wonderfully,
So,
Brandon.
Brandon Baruch, who cannot be with us tonight because he is wonderfully employed, which we're all happy about. And I wrote this in about 2015, and we've tinkered with it here and there. I don't know if it's worth posting the link now, but definitely by the end of this, the link to all the resources that I'll be examining and the document that I'll be shamelessly riffing from will all be available to you. Basically, what does my show need? We start with that. You take an honest and thorough inventory of the technical needs for your show. Do I need props? Do I need costumes? What sort of lights do I need? If it's a one-person show, you might not need an awful lot. But then if it's a one-person show where you put on a lot of different hats, for example, Hattie, the hat-faced man who wears 50 hats, you're going to need a hat budget. So know that going in. And a lot of people are starting to do the sort of TED Talky thing where they're doing a one-person show. And then I woke up in Ibiza, and then Ibiza appears in the background as if by magic through projections. And a swarm of seagulls had stolen the only hot dog that I'd brought for me from Coney Island, my once and future love. And then you see seagulls with a hot dog. I don't write these things. These are real life examples from Fringe shows that I made up. And know what sorts of things you want to have going into it, especially because from now until June, really May, you have the opportunity to build these things in advance. We got the link in the description. That's tight. So once you have your sort of list of things that you need, then that's going to help you working with your venues, especially if you haven't booked it yet. What should I expect from venues? Now, this is extremely playing it safe, but if you want to be completely safe, expect absolutely nothing so that you know the parameters of the things that you might need. Realistically, you can expect to have a basic speaker system for playing back audio, usually with a way to hook up a laptop or tablet computer or something. I'm going to probably come at people pretty hard about not playing shows off your phone for reasons that we'll get to. Pam knows. Pam knows. You can expect to have a repertory lighting plot offering basic area lighting for the space. In my case, my rep plot is my 2 lights on either side of me and a secret third light, as well as a little bit of glint from the script that I'm shamelessly reading. A house light system to signify when your show begins and ends. I mean, it's sort of meta theatrical. You don't necessarily think about it, but like the show starts when the house lights are out, and then the show ends when the house lights are up. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Like, we've now exited the land of walking into the theater and we are in the show. We are now exiting the land of the show and walking into the great unknown beyond that. Hopefully many more delightful Fringe shows to enjoy. You can expect in many spaces basic scenic elements. And when I say that, I mean chairs, places to sit. That's kind of about it. Some places have rehearsal blocks, some places have a table, but expect nothing when you go in, and check with your venue to see what kind of stuff they have that you can share between other shows. If you're sharing something between other shows, there exists a likelihood, a chance that that thing could become damaged or malfunction in some way if it is shared across many shows. We all conduct ourselves with the utmost of respect for our space and the kindness that we have inside of our hearts. But sometimes chair legs get tired and they decide that they're going to lay down when the other 3 legs are standing up, and things happen. So it's generally safest to have all the scenic elements that you need yourself. Some spaces may allow you to store things depending on your contract. These are all the sorts of things to know going in that you're going to have to talk with your venues. Like, oh, so I have this 500-pound dentist chair that's approximately 7 feet long and about 4 feet tall. And if you might be laughing, but the funny thing is, a dentist's chair is one of the things that had plagued Los Angeles theater for the last 15 years. I can think of no less than 5 shows that required the use of a dentist chair and getting that monstrosity on and off stage. Chances are that's not going to work for you at this stage of your show's development. Put it in the candy bag. So when you get your extension, when you go to a full run later, you can get that dentist chair and you can live your best life.
Or a guillotine.
Or guillotine. Guillotine comes up.
Guillotine. And it was, I cried.
You get some guillotines. You're going to get some guillotines. And then finally, the thing you can usually expect in all of the spaces is seats. If you walk into a space and there aren't seats, that would be a surprise, and that would be worth making a special note of. What should I expect a space not to have? Anything that you need, whether it's a projector, a disco ball, a kiddie pool, a mannequin, a basketball hoop, whatever it is that you specifically need, expect the space to not have that and make your own arrangements. Sometimes things happen and ridiculous, like some spaces might actually have a disco ball up. A lot of spaces now have projectors. In fact, I honestly do not know how many now have projectors. The first couple fringes, maybe 1 or 2 did, if you were lucky. And then people just keep adding them because it's such an easy value add to have your slides behind you to help tell the story. And goodness knows, I have done dozens of fringe shows that make heavy use of projections. We're going to put a pin in that and come back to that in a minute because there's considerations there, but keep that in the back of your mind. A lot of people feel like they need the couch. They feel like they need the big long table. They feel like they need recliners, shopping carts, gurneys. I'm going to take a moment to mention the shopping cart because while the provenance of the acquisition of that item might be suspect, and I won't address that directly, any scenic element that has wheels that can be transported with reliable wheels or casters might actually help you on the load in. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Also, anything that can be modular. If you have an ottoman that has like a lid that you can take off and put things inside and reliably carry, then your props can go in the ottoman and then that can go on stage. And I don't know, call it a tuffet for Little Miss Muffet or something. But if that's your seating element and it's also your prop storage, this is really good for you going into load in and load out. Any way you can optimize, any way you can stack stuff inside of other stuff. But don't expect any of that stuff to be there for you. Even if you have a friend in doing their show in the same theater, redundancy is great. Redundancy is great. Redundancy is great. If you both have scenic elements that if theirs breaks, they can use yours or vice versa, man, you can be somebody's hero so fast. Now, I said there may not be a playback system for your audio, just a mixer and a cable. I'm honestly thinking that most spaces do have some sort of QLab, but again, ask up front. If you know you're going to do a lot of sound effects, if you know you're going to do all this kind of stuff, ask up front, know what they have. I mentioned QLab in passing. Don't worry, I'll come back and I'll mention what that is in greater detail if you haven't heard of it before. Do you have consumable props that require refrigeration? Sandwiches, beverages, pudding cups, although some of those are shelf stable. These are all things that you're going to want to know going in because there might not be a fridge waiting for you at the venue. And if you think about, I'm going to be circling for parking because I'm going to be 30 minutes early to my 15-minute load in because keep that in mind. Do I have a thing that I'm going to need to eat? Am I going to need to do something to make sure that that thing doesn't spoil? Am I going to have to pick it up right before I come over to load in? Am I going to need to have a friend get it to me? I would avoid consumable props in general because they tend to make a mess. And the cardinal rule of Fringe is don't mess up anybody else's time, at least when it comes to tech. Powder things, confetti, any kind of perishable or thing that maybe a rodent or insect might like to snack upon, generally stay away from that. They're unpredictable, and like confetti and glitter are evil. Do not perpetrate this evil upon your fellow people. It is a cancer that once installed can never be removed, no matter how hard you scrub, no matter how meticulously you place them. They will become one with the theater and reveal themselves for many years after. Please, no confetti, no glitter, no powdery things. But also basic office supplies, computer power cables, chargers, to a lesser extent, masking and cleaning supplies. A lot of places do carry masking and cleaning supplies, but they're not likely to put up some sort of a curtain to block something for you between shows. That's a bit of an ask. Some may have moving curtains or things like that, ways to block off parts of the stage. This is something that you'd want to talk about up front. If there's a scenic element or something that you can have that bisects the stage, for example, giving you an acting area and an acting area. I don't think anybody really has that, but that's something to talk about up front, because if you spend your 15-minute load in tying up a curtain, that's very different than expecting it to just be there and throwing a fit. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you communicate with your venue, you may find that there's a balance to be struck. So you also think less is more for all of these things. You want to have a show that runs like a well-oiled machine that can come in 5 minutes and spend 10 minutes prepping, rather than a show that can loads in 14 minutes and then spends 1 minute frantically hoping that everything is where it needs to be. Keep it simpler as much as possible and reduce it to the iconic. If you did Hamlet and the only prop you had was a skull and that pops out right at the end, that could blow somebody's mind. Things like this. There was a show called Under the Jello Mold. I don't even think she wound up getting out of Jello mold, but I think one version of it later in the development process, she did bring it out. And there's an emotional weight on that. I won't spoil it in case she wants to do it again. That makes that so much more important. Think about what's truly, truly important and focus on that, so that you don't want to show up for your 15-minute load in with 5 bins full of stuff, hoping to make sure it all works. I have done that. I have worked on shows that did that. The dirty trick that we pulled was that there was an entire pre-show dance where everyone loaded things in, and we even had the audience walking in while there was someone playing the guitar and everyone was singing, setting up the stage. It's crazy, but it can work. But don't do it because it will hurt. So, preparation. What do I need to prepare ahead of time? I don't know if you've ever worked with a stage manager before, but they have your best interest in mind. They want the show to go great. They want you to have the best time possible, and they want to make sure that they have a good show as much as you do. So let's set them up for success so that they can set you up for success. You should prepare everything a stage manager might need to run your show for you. That's cue sheets, scene changes, and a prompt book. So, cue sheets. I'm going to share the screen, hopefully, and show you. Yep, my system preferences did not allow me to do that, so I'm going to vamp while I do this. So a cue sheet tells you where cues go. That means step 1, flip through your script and make a little note wherever you think something needs to happen. And that can be a little lighting change, like someone lights a cigarette and just for a moment you see a flicker of light, if that's something that you feel like you need to see. And if you have a door open and someone's knocking at the door or something like that. Maybe that's something that is a cue. Think of all of these times when something happens, even the lights going dark between scenes, blackouts, that kind of stuff. Each one of those is a cue. Next, you figure out where they need to be, and then you write down a list of all of that stuff in a script. You determine the timing in tech to a certain extent. A lot of us who have done this for some time in the past, we kind of already know timings, ups, downs, what it's like to have a fade that looks like this, 1, 2, 3, versus a fade that looks like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. It seems like there's not much of a difference, but when you're in the room looking at it, 5 seconds is sort of lazy and mysterious. 3 seconds is fairly reasonable. It's sort of something is happening. 1 second is abrupt, and a 0 count, which mostly occurs in the world of LEDs now. You can have the lights blackout, just cut. That's an abrupt, and it's great for comedy, and it's great for incredibly dramatic moments. But think about those kinds of things. And if you need to see it at the top of tech, that's when you iron out all those timings and stuff. But if you can go in with a little bit of an idea of how long it takes to fade something, the music fades for 5 seconds, nice and relaxed under the scene. All of that stuff going in is going to help you build this and get ahead of the game so that you can get things done. Now, I can't screen share because I did a stupid thing and updated my Mac all the way to the most recent operating system. But all of the stuff that I'm going to talk about is going to be inside the resources here in link in the chat. In there, you can see such things as an empty manual cue sheet, the leprechaun.jpg, which is an old lighting board, 2 scene, the dance cue sheet example, cue sheet examples, and prompt book examples. I'm going to do my best to explain them as we go. And then if we need to examine it in more detail on the back end, I'll double back and we can double check that. So how is the cue called? Know what thing triggers each cue and make it clear in the script by drawing a little line under it and writing the number of that cue. So the stage manager knows, oh, it's when they go and turn on the light, then the thing happens. Or it's exactly on the word Tuffet, when Miss Muffet will suddenly have all the lights turn on in her face and she's forced to confront the fact that she's lost her Tuffet. This is the tragedy of Miss Muffet, of a Fringe show that I have very recently invented for the first time. If there's other stuff that might be a little bit more specific, if you have so many costumes that you need to have a dresser helping you, like sort of a comedy show where there's a bunch of different costumes that you cycle through, and that's the whole bit, write out a change list and know which page that happens and what thing has to happen, and just get that in an Excel sheet or on a piece of paper. Just break it down so that you have that going in so you can kind of prep for it in advance. It might not occur to you because I put on clothes every day. Like, it's not that hard, but when you have to do it in 10 seconds, it's really nice to know it's coming so you can stage it and get ready for it. I don't see an awful lot of crazy costume stuff in Fringe, but the times when I see people do it, you better believe they show up and they are prepared for it. Same for scene changes, especially if you have a big cast show and they're doing a bunch of scene changes and stuff. If you print out you go into Google Sheets and you take each slide and this is this scene. Great. I'm going to draw a little box where the table should be. I'm going to draw a little box where the chair should be. I'm going to write table on table and chair on chair. Great. That's how it's going to look. Next slide. Put the stuff where it needs to be, label it. That's scene 2. Next slide, that kind of thing. It can be as simple as that, because then you can have a document you can print out and hand to everybody, and they could be like, oh, great, this goes here, that goes there. You can rehearse it long before you get into the space, and you can just make adjustments when you get there. You don't want to be making heavy adjustments to staging necessarily when you're in tech. You're going to have to adapt a little bit depending on lighting and sort of other things that might not occur to you at the time, but you want to try and have as much as possible written out, planned out, so you can be like, oh, okay, cool. Can you move it a little to the left of that? Oh, great. All right, fine. And this is entirely inadvisable. Do not make changes over the course of your run, especially without consulting your stage manager. But if you're super chill, there is a little room to evolve it depending on how things land. Just don't expect that to be something that you can do. And especially do not ever in a million years do that without the explicit approval and attention of your stage manager. Treat them well so that they can have your back. Don't change stuff every day and then expect them to know it, because they don't know what's inside your head. And it is a lot to ask a stage manager to change anything after you've teched it. So know the level of that ask going in. So we've prepared our cue sheets. Now we can make a prompt book. Now, it's useful to have cue sheets broken into, here's all the lighting cues, here's the cue line or movement and whatever, here's the page that it happens on, here's the thing that happens, and that's the light cue sheet. And then here's the sound cue sheet, and have all of that broken down so that that can be a separate thing. If you're not used to juggling all that kind of stuff in your head, and I'm saying that as someone who's done it over the course of hundreds of productions for 16 years, I still kind of do that too. If you want to jump straight to the prompt book because you only have 15 cues and that's all the things that happen in your show, you can maybe skip the cue sheet part, but having the cue sheets all set up so you know where things happen is going to help you plan ahead in tech for what the next thing you need to do is. Now, prompt book, that's a script with all of the cues from your cue sheets where they need to go. And that is what you're going to be handing your stage manager. They may have a different way that they format their script. Some people do things slightly differently. Some people will ask for a completely blank script. So in that case, your prompt book will be your reference for how you build things, and then the stage manager will have their own version. Check with your person, figure out what it is in advance. Again, conspicuous and constant compassionate communication is all of our friend. And it's better to be clear and kind than it is to be vague and trusting. You can still trust these people, but be clear and be kind. Then they'll know that they can trust you too, and great stuff will happen. One of the ways that I like to parse the different cues in the prompt book is I like to use LX for lighting cues and SQ for sound cues. And another way that we do this to break this down a little easier is LX is a number, a numeral, and SQ is an English letter. Now, if you have projections, the common professional nomenclature is tab and then a number, but in QLab, we're getting to that. I'll break it down even further when we get to the actual QLab section. QLab will do both video and sound. So you can kind of just write QLab Q and then a letter if you want to make it clearest as possible, because then if you hear a number, it's a light cue. If you hear a letter, it's a sound or video cue. I mean, it's purely for organizational purposes. That'll help you as you continue to advance in your, as you develop your show. If Fringe isn't the last step for you, if this isn't just a fun thing you do once, if you decide you want to make something and continue to develop it and take it further. And I strongly hint and hope that you should. Now, working with the venue stage manager. So we've done all that we can do. We know where all of our props and our costumes and our scenic and our layout and our changes and our cue sheets and our prompt book and all of our documentation is excellent. We have a binder with all the stuff in it. We have a spare script for the stage manager in case they want a clean one. We're ready to go. First and foremost, be nice. These are professionals that are going to be working on dozens of shows for the next 6 weeks. They have most likely done dozens of shows before. Pretty much a lot of stage managers that do Fringe will continue to do Fringe, because not only is it a great opportunity to meet tons of people and expand your sphere, but they genuinely enjoy it. And you have to genuinely enjoy it to do 5 to 7 shows a day for 5-6 days a week for weeks. They dig it. And know that you're not the only show. Know that you're not the only team that this person is working with, but you get every day is your chance to be the best person that they work with. And I think that's the competition we should be examining, drifting aside for a moment, for Fringe going forward. Don't think about awards. Don't think about success. Don't think about filling seats. I think we should all try to be the best person to work with, the best person to spend time with, the kindest and most compassionate person, the person who picks up after themselves, the person who makes you feel like $1 million. What if we all tried to top each other like that? That'd be pretty cool. Like, oh yeah, I got my load in done in 5 minutes. I got my load out done in 5 minutes. Hey, people after me, do you need some help? Like, what if we did that? Wouldn't that be cool? So you might be the 8th show they're teching that day. They might have stayed up until midnight because the people who didn't pay attention to this information didn't come correct at all, and they don't know what they want, and they might not have finished their show, and they might need to get more tech time, and it's a whole thing. And you show up and everything is ready to go. You might be that stage manager's favorite person just out of the jump, knowing that you've got some room for them, knowing that you've got an extra bottle of water or maybe a little snack for them or something. Take care of your people, they will take care of you. And the clearer your information is, especially the cue sheets for your own reference, including pages when they come up, things that need to happen, and following along in your own prompt book so you know what's coming next, you're going to get through tech really easily. And it's going to take a lot of stress off your mind, because it's going to feel like, oh, that didn't hurt at all. And as Pam said, stage managers, they may forgive, but they never forget. And they may not forgive. So, so we've got our script pre-production out of the way. We've broken it between departments. And now let's go through the departments, starting with lights. So how to read a rep plot magic sheet. What are all these strange pictures? Don't worry. Think of it as a cheat sheet that explains what is currently hung on the grid. Now, you might not want to look at the cheat sheet. You might not want to look at the rep plot or magic sheet. You might just know, oh, I want this area of the stage and I want this area of the stage. So Miss Muffet's Tuffet is largely the key area of acting that we're working with. So what do you have there? Just basic lighting of that area or a special? Okay, great. Let's get a special. Now, the term special comes to us because it's a special light hung specially for the special thing. It's going to be pointed directly at a particular area. You're going to hear words like wash. A wash is basically covering the stage. And generally speaking, a wash is a color of some sort. I think most of the venues now have color changing LEDs, which means you have all of the colors of the rainbow, except for a good yellow in most cases, depending on the quality of the instruments. So you should be able to have slightly different colors of the stage. Again, if that's something that's really important in Red versus Blue, the musical, and you need to make sure that that is thematically locked in for your show, have that conversation up front. Know that you want to do rainbow color chases or other goofy stuff that is absolutely fabulous, and live your best life. Those things are much more accessible now than they ever used to be, when we had to go up and swap gels between shows. Now we can just tell the lights to be like, oh, hey, you're cool now. I'll do it right now. Oh, wow, I've changed completely. And now I'm a ghost. I turned up the cold lights on my LEDs and washed out my already Caucasian complexion with ridiculously cool white light. So these are the kinds of things you can think of in advance. What does red mean to you? What does blue mean to you? Perhaps you want a dark red moment to make it feel spooky. Perhaps you want a green moment to make people look sickly. There are lots of different things, and knowing that going in your cue sheet will help you out. If you don't understand the plot, you can ask your venue manager or stage manager to explain it to you. You don't necessarily have to design your show. It helps if you have a designer so you don't have to think about it. But also, oh, I want the lights to come over here and the lights to come up over here. Can we do that? Okay, cool. Oh, no? Well, then I'll move the thing over here and then can that work? Okay, great. This is where having the scenic plot built in Google Sheets, so you know where the areas of the stage that are being occupied, going over that, perhaps while the rest of your people are loading in with your stage manager, might give you an idea for what sort of area lighting is available in the space, how flexible it is. And then that way you'll be able to nail down a little bit better what sorts of areas you can definitely hit and so forth. Generally speaking, you're getting good coverage in most of the spaces, and even the spaces where there's like 6 lights, you have lights up and lights down. Those are still choices you could make. So pre-show curtain speech. Now, this is one that trips up even the professional theaters, the Lord A plus, the high, every level. You'll have the show that you've teched, and you'll have the top of show, and you'll go out of pre-show music, and there'll be a recorded pre-show announcement. Treasured guests, please take this moment to silence all noise-making electronic devices. In the state of an emergency, your nearest emergency exit may be behind you. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself. Thank you and enjoy the show. You can clip that and use that for years if you'd like, but you tech it and then the show starts, and then invariably, the first day, someone's going to want to walk out and give a curtain speech. Now, I recommend this for Fringe because if you're doing your own box office and you have other people in the show or whatever silly thing, people look forward to that sort of connection that you can make with the audience at the jump, at the start of the show, even if it's not you giving the pre-show speech, because that's when every day you can start to call out your Fringe friends, the people you make connections with, your sister or sibling shows, your friends who you suddenly discover are doing something. Maybe you put that in the curtain speech and you say, oh, hey, go see our Fringe show. Or we'd love to thank our friends from Little Miss Muffet, A Modern American Tragedy, who have come to see our show today, and give them a round of applause. Take a moment to put some sunshine on the people in the audience that might have come to see your show as a cast. That's going to put sunshine in the room that makes the show sparkle extra nice. You've just put gasoline on the fire, and that crowd is going to burn. It's going to be so fun because you take a moment to work the room. It's not usually great for everyone. Not every show is of the tone or tenor that can accept that sort of thing, but this is an opportunity to take part in community. Similarly with the post-show speech, that can be the time when you shout out your discount code for your sibling partner show that allows you to continue that energy and send people in that direction. Or maybe it's you partner with the show right after you, and you do a shout out and say, hey, come back, hang out, check with these people. And what Pam said, clarifying that, very much so. Maybe don't shout out your partner shows at the top, shout them out definitely at the bows. But if you know that you have a group of people coming from shows and and it behooves you and it doesn't take time, giving them a quick shout out while you ask them to you ask people to turn off their phones and point out the emergency exit, that helps build the energy. Yeah, don't add time to the show. Dear goodness, do not add time to the show. So curtain speech, always nice. Blackout at the end of the show. Not everybody remembers to go to black, and that means turn the lights out. Sometimes it helps if your show has a nebulous ending, or if there is a a lack of clarity in sort of timing and things. Some people mess with time travel. Some people mess with, I mean, Pam's coming to us from a TARDIS. Some people mess with like, as Pam gestures broadly towards the TARDIS behind her. Sometimes you do some stuff that messes with the fourth wall. It helps to have a solid ending and then a lights up and maybe even the house lights with it so that people know, oh, it's ended. Great. I wholeheartedly endorse experimentation, but I also endorse clarity. So that end of show blackout should be a cue that you agree on. And then the lights coming up at the end should also be something that you clarify. I will get to questions at the end, but yes, there are cue sheets in the prompt book in the documents I'll be going over at the end too. So stay with me. Vision. I'll check with you in the end. Numbering systems. Now, some venues record your cues, usually in the light board, in a number range that you'll be assigned. Usually with like an ETC Express, if that's the kind of board they have, they'll be like, okay, so you have like 100 to 150, and those are your cue range. If that's the case, make note of what their numbers are, and then write those numbers in your book, because you're going to be going off of the numbers in that venue. Don't worry too much about that right now. Make the numbers make sense to you. And then when you walk up with your light cue sheet, you can just add a little thing and write what the new numbers are, and that'll help you. But in festival staging, and this is not just Hollywood Fringe, this is all festivals everywhere, from dance to theater to all kinds of stuff, you'll have this kind of thing where there are pockets that some people might have, and you slot that in. It's less the case now because a lot of places have their shows saved on light boards that you can have a backup, and it's a whole separate show file. But it's worth knowing going in that your numbers might change for reasons that benefit the setup of the stage manager, operator, whatever. So be ready for that. Have a light cue sheet for that. It's going to help. Sound. Making your QLab file. So QLab, which is at qlab.app online, is free to use 2 channels of audio and 1 video screen for Mac OS X. Now, I have seen so many sad posts from folks desperate to try and get the Windows QLab. There isn't really a Windows QLab, but hold up, I'll be there in a second. QLab is Mac only, and a lot of venues have it. It's practically standardized at this point. If they don't have it, I would be more surprised. Check with them in advance. You can get, now 2 channels means I have a left channel and I have a right channel. I did that reverse because I have a left channel and a right channel, and that's stereo. And then video would be 1 screen, the projector. Now, that means you can download QLab for free right now to your Mac computer. PC people, stay with me, I'll catch you up. Linux people, wait a little longer. You can download directly to your Mac and then start playing with it. You drag and you drop, and then you have a sound file, and then you drag and drop, and then you can fade that sound file to up. I'll fade it up. No, it's louder. I'll fade it down. Oh, it's quiet. Simple. You can build your QLab in advance and walk in with all of that set. And then all you have to do is change the levels and maybe the timing. And then that saves so much time in tech because it's all ready to go. So if that's available to you, if you do have a Mac, then please do that. Set it up in advance, play with it, get used to it, especially if you're doing video, because you really don't want to do video, and I'll come back to that in a second. There is an iPad version of QLab called gobutton.app, gobutton.app, and that is an iPad only version. I've never used it, but I know other people that do, and it's perfectly valid. It's done by Figure 53, the people who make QLab as well. I don't know the pricing currently, but it is an app for tablets. I would advise you to go check that out if iPad is the only thing you've got. Now, if you have a Windows computer, there are a couple different options. One of them is Multiplay. Now, this was a piece of software that used to be totally free, and then it, kind of tanked, and they're now coming back with another beta of it, and they're continuing to develop it. I'm going to put the link to that in the chat. I keep calling it the description. Can you tell I watch entirely too much YouTube? It's a little harder to use than QLab, but I personally ran a musical, Hollywood Fringe 2015, maybe 14. Actually, I think it was 2013. Great. The link for QLab, I will put that in there too. But getting back to Multiplay, had it working off of, I think it was a Microsoft Surface. It's going to be a little trickier. You're going to need to know a little bit about computers, or like just have your stuff, pull your sounds and stuff like that in advance, and then know that you'll plug it into QLab. You can also reach out to somebody and have them program a QLab file for you. There are lots of people who have QLab that would be more than happy to sit with you over coffee and block your show out with you. There are plenty of resources in the Facebook groups, on Twitter, on the hashtags. Go to people during office hours and be like, I need someone to help me with the QLabs. Meet me at office hours and chat with me. Like, there are lots of ways to get the help that you need if that's something that you can't figure out on your own. And you have time to play starting now. There are tutorials on YouTube. And Pam mentioned SoundQ Systems, which I think is ShowQ Systems, to be pedantic, but only because I'm putting the link in the chat. There are a variety of different pricing points for this. Windows only, I think Windows only. $58 for light, $100 for standard, and $150 for professional. Now, in this case, if you were to buy a computer just to be the one that runs your show, that's a totally valid and probably clever thing that you can do, because that way, you know, oh, this show computer is going to have my show on it. And then if I continue to produce it and take it elsewhere, like touring to other Fringe festivals or stuff like that, that might be something that you want to have in your back pocket so that it's all ready to go. I do that a little bit. Yeah, I've done that a couple times. The video for QLab, you need a license to fade or change geometry, but you can stop stuff, and you can at least lay out all your cues and then save it. And then if you want to do fades and fancy stuff when you get into the room, you can do that then. Just know it's something that you're going to do. And there's a little note section in each cue of QLab where you can write out what you might want it to do. So you can put all your stuff in there, all of your videos and so forth, and just make a note for each cue. This should fade after blank. This should fade after blank. It's going to add a little time to your tech time, but you should still be able to get it done. Additionally, if you are looking to buy a computer to put stuff on it, I like to look at, this is not supporting Fringe at all, but I like to look at computers.woot for Mac or for PC stuff, but sometimes Macs, and then macofalltrades.com for refurbished Mac computers. I've had great success with both of these. I have a Windows computer that I bought off of Woot that I use for Watch Out, which I regret even saying out loud, because that's probably not something any of you will be using during Fringe. But yeah, macofalltrades.com. It's not letting me copy the link for whatever silly reason. But yeah, if you wanted to have that as a show investment, so because you know you're going from here, thank you. I don't know why it wouldn't do it for me. It's fun. If you wanted to make that a show investment, and you're like, I'm going to get a 2015 laptop that's relatively inexpensive, and I will take it with me because this is my first stop, and I'm going from here to all the other Fringes and all the other cities, or even just other spaces in LA, like going for a rental and knowing that your show, as you programmed it, is ready to go and right there on your laptop. But not necessary, especially if your venue has QLab. What adapters do I need? I kind of mess with this a bit because a lot of people's devices no longer have, for QLab video for Fringe, you need a license. Yes. If you're playing, I'm getting questions from the chat. Yes, you do need to buy a video license if you're going to do complicated stuff with the video. I believe I had thought that they have one channel of video free. If multiples, it's a thing. Can you play multiple audio cues simultaneously on top of each other in the free version of QLab? Yes.
No, it's a thing. It's a thing. You can't, depending on what they're going to do. Generally, the answer is no. Sometimes it's yes, definitely for video, no. But what she's talking about, I think she's talking about what's her name? Oh, I'm sorry. It's David. I'm so sorry. David. I'm sorry. I didn't have I had my glasses on. I couldn't see. It looked like so David Lucalari, you're talking about multiple sound channels through one QLab, yes?
I think it's multiple audio cues going on at the same time.
At the same time. And there's a way to get around that. Okay, if you want to do QLab that way using their audio, technically the answer is no. But there are so many ways to fake around that by just auto following, grouping, and a whole bunch of stuff that your tech can help you with. I'm sorry to jump in.
No, by all means. I've never.
I want to go back to some of the stuff you've talked about to support you and drill down on details maybe they don't know about.
Yeah, go.
May I do that just for, I swear I'll be fast. I'll only take like 5 to 10 minutes. Is that okay with you, Corwin?
By all means, please.
All right, so QLab sound. A lot of you will come with sound effects, okay? So QLab does not like MP3s. I've had over the years MP3s for all my sound. QLab, especially the new one, doesn't like it. If you don't have the ability to convert it to WAV or IF, it's okay. Just give it to your person in one of those little things you put into a thumb drive, or drop it to them. Be really specific about what it is, and they can adapt it. We have to adapt those things. Lights. So most of these venues, and I love them to death, and I've worked for them, we have 4 lights. We can do amazing things with those lights, but we have 4 lights, not 5. And we definitely don't have a follow spot or a special unless it's a venue like the Hudson, where you pay extra to their guy to come in and build a follow special. But otherwise, there isn't. But what we can do with the lights we have available, we can make it work for you. But if you say to your tech/stage manager, I was told by the venue there was a follow spot, we know you're lying. How do we know you're lying? Because we've been working in those venues for quite a while, and we get it. This is what you want, but this is what you have. All right? When he said a rep plot, what a rep plot means, you go into the venue and there are certain lights, stage right, stage left, upstage, downstage, center, up forward. Maybe there's one that's kind of spotlightish. It's not officially one, but it's maybe spotlightish. And then you have warm to cool gels in them. Some venues these are our warm to cool gels. These are our rep plots. We will not change them for you, but some venues, they will get up and change them for you. Just know that. It's a lot of trust. You need to ask your tech. Be honest, what he said, ask your tech. Be honest with your tech. Tell them everything. And you also, 1,001 changes at the last minute? No. A lot of techs, again, and I'm saying tech stage manager in interchangeable for Fringe, because that's what it is, right? So some of them will give you 1 change. Some will give you 2. Some will say none at all. Because when it comes down to whatever your show is, and I'm talking about more than just solo shows. It's a little different for solo shows because it's just that one guy or gal or them person. just that one person. And so a little bit of leeway some people will give you for making, once you actually see what the lights are, once you actually see what the sound is, your tech stage manager might give you, I'm timing myself, a little bit of leeway. But if you've got a big group, and then for whatever reason, as director or producer or writer, writers don't matter here, director or producer decide you want to change everything at the last minute with a big group, it cannot be done. It is not personal, because that means change your script, change all of the cues, get it out to those people, who we don't know them, you know them. One more thing, never, ever, ever to your actors, if you have more than a solo show, never, ever, ever give your Fringe stage manager tech give your stage manager tech contact information to your actors, because then they'll come to you, they'll come to us. And I don't know, this is one of 90 shows I'm running, and I don't know what your call time is. I don't even care. What I know is there's this 15-minute load in and load out. And if for whatever reason, as director or producer, you don't want to be the one to tell them we've changed it or whatever, don't do that to us. That is not a kindness thing. That is not a be excellent to each other. That is, I will remember your name until the ends of the earth. All right, one more. We don't want to let you fall. All of us. We will not let you fall. We will do the best that we can to help you bring your artistry. Because you know what it is? You warriors of independent theater, you were brave doing this. You were spending money doing this. You were awesome doing this. And we will do our best to help you and then we're like, okay, we're still gonna help, but you're on the list. All right, what else? Venues, the lighting. Oh, refrigeration, no. There's no. Just basically no. Glitter, we will hate you forever. No. Popcorn also is at some venues. Popcorn and glitter, and if you think what does that mean? I've run into it. No. Script, A, B, sling binder. Oh yes, we want a clean script. Your tech person wants a clean script. Some of them might want also a 3D binder. Some might not, but cleanest as you can get it. Clean script. There was another thing he said, I can barely, shared items. Oh, that's the thing. Corwin, thank you for bringing that up. So some venues, actually, most of them at the level I work with, I don't work with the big venues, I work with the smaller venues. So here's it is. You have 15 minutes to load in, 15 minutes to load out. We don't have any time to play games. So you scale everything down to the bare bones. Go back to the day when we stood in people's houses and did plays, or the Romans did whatever they did, standing in the sand, whatever. Strip it down. Whatever you think you need, you don't need that much. But if it comes down to, let's say, you're like, my show must have this Baka Lounger that I've brought in. It must have it. Some venues, if you are okay with it, because you don't want to load it in and load it out in 15 minutes, some venues will say, all right, we will store your Baka Lounger. We will store your couch. We will store, and this happened, a refrigerator for reasons I don't understand. The rule is, though, any other show can use it. If you're not okay with any other show can use it, so we store it for you, but any other show in that space, if they see it, a couch, oh my God, a refrigerator, we will make a refrigerator scene. If you're not okay with that, then don't do it. Take it out of your script, if that makes sense. All right, so Fringe friendly, Fringe family means when it comes down to it, we share resources. But you're asking venues that are also open, some of them open and running for stuff that has nothing to do with us. So you're asking them to set aside valuable real estate that they can actually charge people to store with, but they're not gonna do it for Fringe if other shows can share it. So just think about that.
Also, we have 4 lights. We won't let you fall. 1001 changes. I think that's it. There might be some QLab. I talked about QLab. Oh, yeah. So if you do not have the ability to morph your MP3 files, because everybody shows up MP3 files. I'm like, QLab hates MP3. And you can do it ahead of time. There's a free program called Audacity. Try to get the older version rather than the newer one. But if you're like, I don't want to deal with that, just let your tech know, here are all my sound files. Can you convert them during whatever? And they will do it for you. What am I missing, Corwin? I'm just trying to drill down on the when they're actually in space.
I put a link to Audacity in the
Sweet.
chat.
There's a slight problem with the new Audacity due to, the bloat and the NFT. So try to use the older one, which you can find, but it's a great program. I've used it so many times. Oh, and video files. I'm sorry, Corwin. When you mentioned those who are using video files, you know what? Can I just say this? Is it okay? I'm just going to say, a lot of you want to have videos running when maybe you don't need to. Rethink it. This is theater. This is not your advertisement for your TV show. This is not everything they have. Oh, I'm going over. I'm so sorry. I'm 2 minutes over. This is live theater, and people appreciate. I mean, you can do some video stuff if you want, but if you're going to do video, you got to convert it into the right format for QLab to read it, because other MP4, MV4, what is it?
That takes me to my video section, in all
Great.
honesty.
I'm going to shut up now. Thank you. Sorry.
Not even a problem. This is great back and forth. I'll need a little refinement on the Google links that you're asking for, Ruby Ramon. But also, there's some more tips and stuff inside the Google Doc that I'm shamelessly reading off of, which is right here. There's also some links to sources for downloading sounds and things like that. But jumping into video, if you're not already a video artist and you don't have access to someone who can edit stuff in advance, shoot it, polish it for you, all that kind of thing, if you don't have the resources already, and you'll know if you do, don't do it. Everyone is expecting to be at a low bar to show up and do something awesome. They're going to be very generous, and they're going to be there waiting to see your best work.
Not low bar, old school theater.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't mean to characterize it that way. I agree. You're right. You're absolutely right. What I'm pointing at is the generosity of the audiences.
Oh,
that
right.
will walk into a room and see just a single chair, and they will have the most amazing experience. And they'll be like, yeah, that was amazing. I didn't care that they didn't have 24 hours of video running behind it and an entire 7-string symphony or 7 piece.
Because we come there for the experience, for the emotion, for the truths. Before last year, the last show we did, the last Fringe we did before COVID, my most favorite show that was so difficult for me to tech because I would start crying between was this woman who came in from England, and there was nothing on her stage except for a microphone and a paddle. And she was dealing with Greek myths and women in that. And it was the best thing ever. And it was nothing but her telling that story. You don't have to have all the things. You can just have what you need.
Now, if you do have access to all sorts of incredible video artists or things, and that might even be what you are, all of the information about how QLab processes video, it needs to be in the ProRes 422 LT or 4444 codec. if you're doing transparency, if it's some sort of an animation kind of thing. All of that stuff is available online. And photos, QLab can do stills really easily. The free version doesn't let you fade, but the video license version allows you to fade stills up and down.
And the video license for both audio and video is like $4 a day, right? That's
Yeah,
my
and
memory.
you can play with the demo for free before you pay anything. I think it's like a 30-minute limited demo, so you can play with
Right.
you go and activate demo mode, and you can look at what
You
kind
can
of
look
things
at and
it has.
try. So
Mhm.
Carol Becker, if you just want a non-moving image like a photo, yes, you can do that. Yes, you can do that.
I also mentioned in the document that you can, if you're only doing really slides and you're not doing like audio,
Right.
PowerPoint can work.
But a lot of, I gotta say, a lot of stage managers, we have QLab, we don't have PowerPoint. And dealing with PowerPoint through a projection is like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah,
We have maps, we don't have that.
yeah.
Some do, some do. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to say that. You were right, Corwin, that some venues do already, like the Hudson does have it, and I think Gregory Crafts venue, what is it, Studio Sage?
I think
They have
all
a
of their
Mac
venues
Mini.
have it.
Not all of them do.
Okay.
Some of the venues I'm going to be working at, I'm bringing my own personal computer with the programs I needed to run the shows in order to do it. Not all venues have them, and I know, so keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, it is kind of an imposition to roll in with PowerPoint. I also pointed to you can maybe do it with Google Sheets. I think I did that on one event once under duress.
Really?
And,
We'll talk later.
yeah. There's also, I mentioned Open Office Impress by Apache, which I think is on Linux. I did mention I'd get to you for Linux. I haven't found a sound playback software for Linux yet. One may exist, but Audacity is available for Linux. So you can do your audio editing, get all your cues in order, label them with the number of the cue and then the cue that it is. And then when you can bring it in and have it put into a QLab at the venue. You don't have to program in advance. It just super helps if you do. But yeah, I mean, it is a terrible imposition to roll in and be like, here's my PowerPoint. Can you run it for me?
Stina made a great point. Can you call it out? Do you see it? One thing to note is that a venue stage manager is not the same as you hiring or begging or pleading a trusted friend, a production stage manager specifically for your show, especially if you're doing an ensemble. Thank you for pointing that out. That's absolutely true. And they need to know that.
So tech. We've gone through the script work. We've looked at the departments. Now it's time to explore what happens when you walk into tech. We're on page 18 if anyone's following along at home. Do parking recon. I can't find parking is no excuse. Finding parking during Fringe is a moving target. Every year there's construction on some street or some other thing gets blown up and rearranged, or they're shooting something down Lillian Way, and there's production trucks everywhere. Just it's a moving target. So know your friendly areas, the places where you can usually be. Tell your cast and crew what to expect. Have everyone get there 30 minutes early. I know scheduling is difficult, but parking is going to get you every time. Request that your whole production arrive early. Make sure the production before is loaded out before you start dragging your stuff in. Once you get to the tech days, those are a little bit more regimented, but just don't go barging in expecting with armloads of stuff that you're going to drop it all off. Actually,
your stage manager tech will not allow you to come in until the other group is cleared out. Just FYI.
Yeah, there's probably going to be a staging area for you to set up, or at least a place where you can wait. Every venue does it slightly differently, but they will be clear to you about what the protocol is. Don't just go walking in and being like, I'm here, we're ready, it's my time, because sometimes people go over, especially the people who aren't paying attention to this, and shame on them. But don't be one of the problem people, be one of the best people. And then, yeah, we have some information about working with programmers in here. Other things like channel checks, getting your own backup disk. This might not apply to every venue, but if you do have a Light Factory Horizon or ETC Ion Nomad, you can bring along a USB thumb drive to back up your show, which is good. Like, you want to do that, have a backup of everything if you can. Sound prep, I have that written in here. If you're using your own computer, there's a lot of other information in the document, but if you're using the QLab system that's in the space, then go with that. Like, the tech already has checked stuff like that. Run order. Now, don't load in your set and then do tech if you can at all avoid it. Rely on your actors or additional crew to get everything in place while you work with your technicians, designers, and stage manager. If you have designers and technicians, whatever, you'll need to be lighting overloaded as much as possible if you can. And then here's a handy guide for running your tech. For the first half hour, programming lighting cues and sound levels, 1 hour cue to cue, quick technical notes. And then if you have, and rehearse curtain call with tech. If you have time to do a run through of your show, cool, probably make it a speed through, but it's not likely to be able to complete a full run through during your tech period, unless you've paid for extra time. Know that going in, and don't give performance notes during tech if you can at all. Unless it's something that is so basic, so intrinsic to the technical stuff. For example, the guillotines from earlier. We have our 7 guillotines on stage and we have to make sure that they all go off in the right pattern. Again, you should probably rehearse that off stage. Like,
say that louder for the directors in the room. Do not, tech is not your time to give your actor notes. Your time at tech, for Fringe anyway, is light, sound, cue to cue, here, know your blocking, Say it again. Corwin, they'll listen to you.
Tech is not the time for performance notes. Tech is not the time for performance notes.
Thank you. I mean, it's brought me to tears sometimes.
It happens at all levels. So the best we can be from here, we can be better. That brings me to just some quick pointers, and then hopefully we can get to questions in 5 minutes. Attitude. Here are some pointers to help tech run smoothly. 1, bribe your stage manager and or programmer, figure out what they like, and then bring it to them. Bring chocolate, snacks, a small array of caffeinated drinks, etc. Treat them how you would like to be treated after a 10-hour day full of solving other people's problems. Even if it's just having an extra something, a bottle of water or something, it never hurts to be like, oh, hey, would you like one?
Yeah.
Have someone on the clock the whole time that is on a clock. Set timers. You don't have to be the one in charge of the clock. Clocks are smart enough to be in charge of themselves these days, but if you start going over time, buckle down and get on schedule. I want to make sure I get the first half of the show done by hour 2. Timer goes off. Okay, crap. We got to make up for lost time. Break it down into segments. Pee and or poo at home. Don't be like every audience member ever and arrive at the theater with a full bladder. This 100% applies to performances too, where facilities are often limited. It's not ideal, but set yourself up for success. Tech is not a time for creative changes. If a piece of blocking or a directorial choice doesn't work, make a note and fix it in an outside rehearsal, unless it's tech dependent. Probably it's not, but yeah. You will likely be insanely stressed. This will be uncomfortable, and you may not be used to the experience. If you must, step into the box office, step outside, count to 10, take 3 deep breaths and calm down. Picture yourself as a cheerleader, not a dictator, and believe in your people. There's some of those PTSD grounding, well, it's not necessarily PTSD, it's just a grounding exercise, but it's useful for stressful moments where you think of 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can smell, 2 things you can touch, and 1 thing you can taste, and you work your way down through it. And I think they come in different arrangements, but if you find yourself in a moment of extremis or extreme stress, grounding like that, and there are many other ways besides that, might help you get back into the zone so that you can get outside of whatever thing you were spiraling into.
I love that. I'd never heard that before, but let everybody know on top of that, your stage manager is also probably super stressed and whatnot. But they also, most of the ones I know, they pay attention to you. They might be running the lights wrong, blocking. What did he say? But they're paying attention to whoever the alpha is on site. So it might be the director, the performer, the writer. We're paying attention to that person. If we see that person like winding up or coming up with, they cannot figure out, I want one light or two. We're paying attention to that. And if it happens to you, right? If your tech/stage manager says, hey, you, alpha in charge, go outside for a minute. Let's go talk while I work with these people. It's not personal. We're just we will not let you fall. We see so much, you're in your zone. We see the rest of it and we know what it looks like when, they're about to explode. So let's get them out of the room. To do what you just said, Corwin, the levels of breathing or whatever. So listen to your tech stage manager. Again, not all of them do it, but most of them do. And they will, because if your tech blows up because somebody has ego or insane or stress, that messes up everything else. We only have this tech. Unless you pay for more, but we only have this tech. And when showtime comes, we only have that show. So our goal is to make it as easy as we can be for you, recognizing that some of you are walking into a situation where you've never had to deal with lights and sound, and you're in the space and blocking and everything. We understand. We have your back, but we also might need to be a little stern sometimes. But when we do it, it's because we care. How does that sound, Corwin?
Great. And additionally, no one is allowed to leave tech for any reason while you're teching. It's only a few hours. Everyone's job is to power through and get it. If you finish early, it's wonderful, but set that expectation with everyone involved.
Yep.
Once you're in until you're out.
And I say
and
there's
then
no such thing as finishing early. We finish 20 minutes early. That means we go back to the thing we couldn't figure out and we do it again. The top of show, the middle of show. There's no such thing as, well, does that mean? It's not. There's no such thing as finishing early. If you finish tech early, then we go back and we just work on that. And we want to work on it for you because you don't have any time. This is your only tech, unless you pay for more. It's your only tech.
There's no wasted time. That's perfectly economical for me. Okay. I mean, get through the show proper so that you can go back and do grace notes. Wonderful.
Oh,
even if it's just drilling.
What did you call that? Grace notes? What is
grace
that?
notes? Yeah.
Going through what? I've never heard that before.
Yeah, when you get the chance to go back and pump up the things that you blew through, it's like, oh, I want to put the cherry on top of that sundae. Oh. It's got whipped cream, it's got the chocolate sauce, but the cherry on top of that sundae, that'd be delightful.
Nice. All right, I'm going to steal that. I'll give you credit. I'm going to steal that and I'm going to use it. I've never heard that before. So now we're in grace note time.
Yeah.
At a tech. Great. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm gonna where's my tape? I have a notebook where I put things like that.
I have 3 more things. 1, leave the space cleaner than you found it.
No glitter.
No glitter, no confetti, no baby powder, no water.
No popcorn.
No popcorn. They get everywhere. There's no control over it. 2, think about the bigger picture. Design is an important way to enhance your production, but big design does not a fringe show make nor break. Trust your work, let your story tell itself, tech only what you need. You can add fancy design when you transfer to a bigger theater later. And all of the documentation that you built that tells you what things go where, if you build your own QLab, all of this stuff is still valid the next step. This can be the draft. This can be the first performance. This could be the first act. I've worked on a bunch of fringe shows where we did the first act and then realized there was a whole other half of the show that we developed after Fringe. Good stuff. And finally, remember why you're doing what you're doing. You are a part of the largest arts festival in the Western United States and possibly in the United States. Fringe is beautiful. Fringe is fun. If you're not having fun, then you're probably not doing something quite right. Theater problems are happy problems. And then at the end of the document, I have all of the things that I put in the description. Your go button. There's an Android paid software that we blew by that I've never used, but it exists if you want to experiment with it. I don't know. QLab links, Multiplay, Audacity, all of that stuff, as well as a couple Facebook groups where you can reach out to people who might be able to help you with stuff. And yeah, if there are any questions, or if Pam, you'd like to add anything.
Dude, you nailed it. Between the two of us, you nailed it. And I just drilled down little bits. So if our host, Kevin, if you want to open up, I don't know.
Yeah, awesome. I learned so much just now. There are things I was like, oh man, my shows I've done, I should have known that. Yeah, we'll take some questions in the chat. I know there was quite a few earlier. If you're on Facebook, feel free to put your chat on in Facebook and we will get those over to this Zoom room here and answer those up. David Rosario would like to talk about streaming a little bit. It's a good topic.
I've only done like 3 streaming shows, and the dude I had do them, it was amazing. Although one of the people who did a streaming show, he had his team in, and I was doing something else, and his guy plugged things into my computer that wiped out my sound system. And so after screaming at him for a little bit, everything was fine. So I'm going to throw that to Corwin. I've done a lot of Zoom shows, but when I think what David is talking about is more than Zoom. It's talking about going out to Facebook, going out to YouTube, going out to Streamlab. Is that what he means?
No. Well, can I chime in? Because even someone said they're using Zoom for live stream. So
that I can do.
Can you talk about that a minute since you just brought it up?
Yeah. You go, Corwin. You go first.
Philosophically, there's been a debate for the last 2 years over whether or not streaming constitutes theater. I believe that there is an experience that we are having right now that we're sharing as people that is inherently theatrical. And there are a variety of resources around for the various. If you look at Twitch as a performance, if you look at your YouTube live streams as a performance, people can chat and interact with what's happening. That's something that can be done that can't quite happen on stage as easily unless you pull the audience, like an improv show. You ask for a suggestion or you have a moment where they interact. This level of interactivity is something that occurs in the sort of streaming theatrical space that can't quite happen in person. And I want to tell people to go in that direction where the people can chat, the people can involve themselves with the streaming things, and there is a two-way communication with people all over the world. More simply, I watched all of the shows of 2020 Fringe from my apartment. I did not go in person to 2021. I did not go to a single live show during the hybrid Fringe. And my favorite experiences were when I was watching it and having a lively chat during the show, appreciating the show, but we were exploring. It was waiting for Lefty. The playwright was able to weigh in on dramaturgical choices, adaptations made to the script live while we were watching it. It was like a live director's commentary kind of thing. I've never really had that experience before in a theatrical context. And even if you only do that for one thing, one performance, one streaming performance, like as a special event, that could be really cool to play with.
Yeah.
Now,
And
also, please.
what's interesting about Zoom only, Austin, are you thinking about Zoom only?
No, it's not Zoom only. It's live and it's going to be in person and live stream. Is what
Oh,
I was only because I want to reach a broader audience than just my live audience over at.
all right. I can talk about this. When the pandemic started, a few months after, I had to pivot to learn how to do this Zoom stuff, to do the streaming, the hybrid stuff. And some of it I learned before the hybrid Fringe show, so that came in handy. This is what thing I'm going to tell you, and I don't want this to go away for a reason. I had more audience than I have ever seen before in streaming shows, right? Running shows with just the one we just did about the Cherokee Freedman battle, right? A couple that I did for Roby, a bunch of other ones with Crewman Report. We had anywhere between, and one, it was so many people that I couldn't handle it. The chat room, in between, I was like, is your PR person, can you sign on and just help me with the chat? I mean, over 150 people all over the world. So it's mostly been for the hybrid Zoom shows I've done. I'm sorry, hybrid is different than Zoom. So the Zoom shows I've been doing, anywhere from 50 to over 200 people per audience, and some of those people donating money on top of their small ticket fees, right? All right, so the hybrid shows were a little different, and my first real hybrid shows were the last Fringe, where I ran them from Family. They were really great, and the guy who designed them, I was like, oh my God, it was incredible. But yes, you were absolutely right, Austin. You will reach more people, and you will reach them from all over the world than we can ever do in any live venue, unless you're on Broadway or what do they call them in London, whatever that is.
West End.
Thank you.
And I mean, yeah, also that opens you up, especially if you have a community in another city or country. You can do some directed marketing using social media or
I've
other.
already started. Yes.
Fantastic.
The
only thing
which is why I'm doing it that way, but I wasn't. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't want to be chatting with people. Obviously, I just want to show the performance. So is it a webinar, or I just want to show the performance, right? So I don't know how to set up Zoom as a webinar.
Oh, that depends. So
there's links in the chat right now about tech streaming info from the guide.
Yeah.
And personally, I like YouTube the most because you can watch it on a TV.
Mm-hmm. And it's easier to set up than even Facebook Live.
And parents easier. That like grandparents, grand aunties, uncles that might not have the greatest grasp of technology might be able to get it on a TV easier than on a computer and then that kind of thing.
Please see that Corwin has dropped stuff in the chat and Ellen dropped stuff in the chat, a playlist to help you with some tech streaming info and also from the guide. So look in the chat and download those resources, please.
And some venues are set up to do live streaming to kind of help you with that a little bit. So there might be techs on hand specifically to help you with that to make it a little easier. There's been a couple venues that went above and beyond and had like 3 camera setups and stuff like that just their stuff looks amazing.
Yeah.
And there are techs for hire as well in the handbook in the chat. But yeah, one more thing to consider though, projections that are live don't always translate as well to live streamed things. Yeah. So if you're going to do live streaming, don't lean too heavy on a projected element. There are ways to do that and to get around it, to have the content show up on the screen and have it be edited and stuff like that. But once you start getting in that direction, if you don't already know how to do it, I don't want to tell people to do it because it's hard to do.
It
Like-
is so complicated. It's better, like you said, there's one guy who figured out how to do the projections with the live part, and what he had was 4 cameras, including 2 of my iPad, my cell phone, his main camera, the actor's cell phone, 2 phones he brought in as well. It was great. It was way too much. But so if you're thinking hybrid live stream from, when you're saying Austin, hybrid live stream, are you saying I'm in my venue, not in my house like we are?
No, I'm in my venue.
I'm in my venue.
I'm in my Fringe.
And I'm trying to
venue.
show my show.
Yeah, because they have it set up. They said they're set up for live stream. So they
So
suggest
the less projections, like Corwin said, the less projections, the better. Probably smarter, different angles. What that guy did with that show, he had the one whole thing with the camera, with the projections right, but everything else was almost 360 in the California room of Family to show all these different angles of the solo show actor doing. It was amazing. I was just like trying to take notes, and I'm like, I can't take notes because I'm pushing this button, but it was amazing.
I'm going to assume if they're going to already have all that set up since they are asked, because I'm paying extra for that, right?
For where?
It's LD at the LGBT Center.
Oh, I don't know about that. This venue, the guy brought it in.
Oh, okay.
So Family already had set up the high speed. Oh my God, that's it. If you're going to do live streaming from a venue, they need to have high-speed Wi-Fi with the ability for you to plug it in directly into your router. I mean, your computer into the router. So I never have.
This is so ironic.
That was so perfect.
Excuse me.
And
But yeah, David, I would really, or I'm sorry, Austin, I would hit up your venue and ask them the questions, especially if they're marketing it and this is
Our
a course
teacher.
they're paying for.
Yeah.
They'll have all the answers on how to do it, and make sure they have one of those handy dandy things that Pam is holding in her hand.
yeah.
You need to have high-speed Wi-Fi, and you need to be able to plug into the actual router, not Wi-Fi, the router.
If the package is already being offered by them, they probably have the parameters in advance,
Yes.
whether it's a single
Right.
camera or a 3 camera, and you should be able to figure that out with them.
Thank you.
Go for it, though.
Yeah,
I figure why not? I figure they give me a broader audience, broader reach.
you're right. What are the questions we have?
Ellen here has
I'm looking.
a comment from the Fringe perspective. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to note, as we do with a lot of these panels too, I think it's really important to remember that every venue runs things really different. And I was
Yes.
going to put some info in the chat, but I wanted to remind everyone, just like Kevin said, because Kevin was 100% right, and I wanted to highlight it. You got to check in with your venue with anything like this, because if the first time you're checking in about the technical questions is your tech, it's not going to be a good idea. And that conversation can be started now that you have a little bit of the tech side.
You're absolutely right. Ask questions. Ask questions you don't even know to ask. Give them, say, I want to do this. Give them a vague description, and your venue will tell you if it's possible or what they may be able to do to make it possible. You're absolutely right, Ellen and Kevin. Last minute, and Corwin, last minute is not the thing. But ask your tech questions, but do it beforehand to your venue.
Questions.
Did I hear somebody say a question?
I did. I heard it.
I'm not loopy.
I heard it too. I heard somebody say questions.
Yeah, feel free to, if you're on mic, that's okay. Well, we'll get back. If you have a question, come back. I have a question about QLab, because I know that is something that is just so important. And in my personal experience, I've been able to hit up venue technicians, stage managers well in advance of the actual production. Is that something that you're able to do for Fringe, is to ask your venue, hey, is there somebody available to do a QLab? Is that a person-to-person basis? What's your recommendation on that? Using the venue as a resource in that?
pretty much all venues have somebody that they can recommend to you, and all other techs have somebody they can recommend to you to build your QLabs ahead of time. I've done it in the past. I've recommended stuff if they wanted advanced stuff that I was like, I cannot do that. But I've said, here's this person, here's this other person. They can do it. Yeah, everybody can. You have to pay them. They're not free. But everybody has their rates, almost everybody. We have our rates lowered for Fringe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we want to support almost everybody.
Yeah, we got about 5 more minutes. You got these experts here. Ask the questions. They give you the best answers out of anybody. They're the best of the best.
Throw out those last questions, Jamal. Yeah. You said thank you. You're a first timer. Welcome, one of us. One of us. Who else? What other questions do you have? Any of you? I'm trying to go through the hybrid. And don't laugh at me. I'm old. So when I'm looking at my screen, I have to take off my glasses to actually see. Like when I'm sewing. Ooh, 2 more messages. Someone feels overwhelmed. Ruby?
I was just about to ask that question. Ruby, yes. Where do you start? How do you get your files? How do you find your design, video, photos, audio? Where do you even go to begin? What a great question, Ruby.
What is the elevator pitch of your show? What is it about?
So I'm doing a drag show as my drag king character, Ramon. He's a spiritual cheerleader. So the premise is come and get emotionally cleansed and learn how to access joy and feel your feelings in a safe, supportive, fun environment and dance your cares away.
So it seems to me like you're going to be having drag mix kind of clips, probably 30 seconds to 2.5 minute long mixes of songs to go with like routines.
Yeah.
Royalty-free songs. Kevin MacLeod. We didn't even talk about royalty-free stuff.
Oh, really? We have to do royalty-free music?
Corwin. Well, no, you don't have to because, I'm sorry, it's a Fringe. So chances that a whole bunch of people will see it and then we get in legal trouble, no. But there's a man out there. Go ahead, Corwin, while I'm looking this up.
Generally speaking, if you do not own the copyright to the music that you are using, you should not use it.
Right.
And you should definitely not use it in a live streaming capacity because content ID bots will scrub your stuff and flag you.
And you're doomed. But there are people out there, and I have used Kevin MacLeod so many times. He comes up here's his website. I'm going to drop, I'll email it to, our big bosses to share with you guys. I don't know if I can drop it in the chat.
There's also a variety of remixes and things that skirt around this.
Yes.
And I mean, it seems to me like you might want a DJ or someone.
Yeah.
I have a DJ.
That is a huge issue. I've had in the early days of the pandemic, pivoting to Zoom and not really understanding that's a thing. Not only music, but also beautiful things like this.
Yeah.
It is the bots, the spider bots, and they can not only that happened to us at the Turbine Arts Collective with a couple of our Zoom shows until we figured out what was happening. They muted us on Facebook, YouTube. It was mostly Facebook and YouTube. There was another one, but I can't remember what it was.
Twitch will also occasionally scrub content ID. But will you be streaming it or just performing it live?
I was gonna live stream it, but I was thinking of doing it over Zoom.
You're not likely to have content ID be an issue. You should still, generally speaking, operate within the world of fair use.
Yes.
And there are farther considerations with this. Now, drag is a codified art form, as I'm sure you already know, and it draws from remix culture. If it's not the font of we have house music because they played disco LPs faster. Like that's the whole genesis of house music. So I don't need to tell you that there is artistic merit to the way that you approach this, but I do need to tell you that if you go on the Twitch, the YouTube or Facebook streamers, they do have content ID that will catch you on stuff, and that's something to keep in mind.
Didn't that happen to Metallica a couple of years ago? They were at a Twitch event.
They got their own music cut.
Their own music was cut off. Yeah, so it's a thing. Oh.
Yeah. There's also YouTube is a great resource. They have a whole list of royalty-free music that if you go on, you look at the royalty-free music, and then there's usually a link in the bio. Do not rip it from YouTube because that's illegal and QLab won't take it. But you can rip it from the actual site that it comes from. There's also a great resource called artist.io, which is like the largest non-royalty music that I have ever seen. And it all sounds like there's like versions of Lady Gaga's, what do you call it? Born This Way.
Yes.
I did a Star Wars, like da 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 da. And it sounded exactly like it to like this like scrolling screen for my Fringe cabaret one year. Great. There's so many resources out there. You just got to look them up. They might cost like $50 to $100 to get a library, but then you have that for a year where you can pay for a single song for $5. All of these things are like really the most important thing to take away. And then Corwin, I'll let you jump in and say a last word, and you as well, Pam. Make sure that you're asking your venues all of these really specific questions, because Corwin works with one venue, Pam works with another, and there's, I don't even know the number, there's at least 15, 20 other stage managers and technicians at Fringe that all do things differently. Yes. And so the best thing to do is start an email chain with them right now, because right now you have time to figure out what you can and can't do. Yes. So communicate with them, get what you can, come with this information that you've learned from our good friends Corwin and Pam, and be like, hey, they said this, is this possible? And they'll go, we could do a version, or we can do that plus more, but you don't know until you ask. So make sure you're in contact starting right now with what your pipe dreams and realities look like. Corwin?
This might not be available to everyone, but fake tracks. There was a show I did like ages ago where we wanted to use a Kanye West track, but we weren't sure it was going to clear. So I made a completely fake version that hit the same kind of energy, but was completely distinct. Not everyone has that in their toolbox, but I'm going to karaoke versions too. They will trip you because sometimes karaoke versions are the song just without the lyrics, released officially by the label. So keep that in mind. Yeah. But more than anything else, do something original. Take the moment to do something original. GarageBand, Logic, these are all programs you can use to make stuff. The DJ can make a remix. It's possible it may still get flagged. You never really know. Just know it going in, and if it's a really, really wild remix, that's look at Vaporwave. And I'll leave that there for you to think.
All right, so you're worried about getting kicked off your live stream. It's always possible. Here's the thing, though. So many things going on at once. Less concerned about your live stream, them catching you, although they might, depending. More concerned about your later broadcast of that work, right? That's where, and if they ding you, I think YouTube was twice. Facebook, I don't have Facebook, but my dude at Turbine Arts has it, and it was 3 times, and he was like, after a while, then you get banned, right? So we don't want to get you shadow banned because you're using official versions of songs in this way. Yeah. Look into everything Corbin has shared and all of these unofficial, but royalty approved songs or music or everything. Does that make sense? because it's not your actual, especially if you do it Zoom live. We've gotten away with so much in some of the Zoom shows I've done because it's just the people who signed in. But when he started saying, I want to put those outward, right? We did the live show, but we recorded it. Now I want to put it on my website and I want to share it with the world. I'm like, well, that's a different conversation, son.
Mm-hmm.
All those songs that you told me I had to have. Well, here are different versions because somebody said it's okay to use those so we don't get hit by the spider bots. Y'all can do it, but originality is the best.
Yeah.
What he said.
Yeah. I think the overall advice would be just don't use royalty music without anything. Even if you have the royalty music, if you get a royalty and put it on YouTube, they can still block you out, just like what happened to Metallica. So just be cautious and use stuff that's not popular and royalty locked, right? But that is our time. So Pam, thank you so much. It was so good to see you two again. Corwin, I can't wait to see you all in person as well as everybody out here. I'll wrap up with just a couple reminders as to what is happening. Office hours are back in person again. Tomorrow, they are at the Felix. The Felix, they're there. So go check it out. St. Felix, thank you. We're gonna have an awesome time. Bring your postcards, bring your energy, talk to people, make those friendships. If you're a first-time person, fringer, I mean, that is where you make all of your relationships that are gonna give you a successful show. Larry, office hours, we just talk, we talk to each other. You guys can have club sodas, any sort of drinks that you want to have, and you just network. That's what it's all about. It's a really fun time. It's so low key. People pass out flyers and stuff. So come to the office hours. And then we have the deadline for having your copy on your Fringe page, if you've already registered, is April 10th. So make sure that your synopses, your titles, the people involved are all solidified and set as you want them to appear in the guide, because after April 10th, we will not be able to update that guide. So make sure that happens. If you haven't registered your event, it is too late to be included in the guide, but it is not too late to participate in Fringe. So you can still participate in Fringe, just register your project, and then you'll be fine without being in the guide. It's recommended, but you can still have a great experience and network and meet people and have an awesome show. And then that we will send out more newsletters, but there's also, this is our second to last workshop. Ellen says, if you register in the next few days, we might be able to get you in. So that's a go.
But it's not
this is our, you didn't hear that here. I didn't say that.
Not guaranteed though.
You're not guaranteed. There's a big might, capital MIGHT, big might, not guaranteed. Also our last workshop is on, let me pull up this date. The last workshop is on May 8th, so make sure you mark your calendars for that. It is our festival expectations one. That's where you're going to learn all the stuff that you need to know on how to have a really great festival. And then our next town hall is in, I believe it makes it about 10 days, so a little under 2 weeks. It's our town hall for prepping with Fringe. It's going to be led by our festival director, Lois, once again, and you're going to learn all of the information about how to do this. We'll be there to answer any questions in person, and that is taking place at the Hudson Theater. So make sure to mark your calendars, subscribe to the newsletter if you're not already subscribed, because that's where you're going to get all this information. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, the works, interact with us, and y'all Fringe on. Happy Fringe. Can't wait to see you in June. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, love.